I remember I went to like a house party and they actually had she was Vietnamese. She actually had like a pho table set up, so you just assemble, make your own. So it was like real pho.
Oh, it's like Taco Tuesdays, but like
Bingo.
Pho Fridays.
Pho Fridays.
Yeah.
I like that. Pho Fridays. I think it was a Friday too.
Welcome to the Worst Asian Podcast, where a couple Asian American millennials give you our shitty opinions on all things Asian.
Haitian or Asian?
Worst Asian Podcast.
That exists
Worst
somewhere.
Asian Podcast. My name is Lingjie, and I'm here with my co-host, who is not late only because this is the second recording of the day.
Yeah, that's right.
His name is Ben.
Can't be late if you're already there.
Sorry. Somehow that makes complete sense, but if you know the context of what we're talking about, for you, Ben, it's the stupidest thing.
I'm an hour late.
Can't be late if I'm already there.
You
know,
like that one?
Dude, we
You like
stopped
that.
doing t-shirt sayings. Remember during
Oh
the
shit, you're right.
season 1, we had so many good t-shirt sayings,
Yeah, we did.
and we kind of like lost track of all that, and I've forgotten half of them, but that's a good one. That's the best t-shirt saying of season 2 so far.
Yes.
You can't be late if you're already there.
dog.
Great.
Good start.
Good start. I think I had enough coffee, so I'm drinking some Lunar hard seltzer from my friends over at Luna. Shout out to Sean and Kev.
Yo, miss you guys.
I'm having the lychee one right now, which is always delicious. So if you guys, and this is not a paid plug, by the way. This is not.
No, we took it out of our hard-earned money.
Yes, I paid for this with my hard-earned money.
Yes.
If you're listening to this, guys, please send me a reimbursement check. It's good. It's delicious. It's past 12 right now, so I can have this.
That's a terrible excuse, but what's great is right now we're gonna auction this can. It's been said from Lingjie from Worst Asian Podcast. It will be on auction on
What's gonna
eBay,
get shit?
PWCC, right? And golden.
People will pay more money if you touched it.
No, they won't.
I think the female listeners, those female listeners, might pay more if it came from you.
Wow. I sound like
Not from out of your body, but, but I'm just saying, if you had an association with this can, it's more likely that it would get more money from you rather than from me.
I know Lingjie talks about that we're partners, blah blah blah. But clearly he is my pimp. Did you know pimp was an acronym for person in my pocket?
Person in my pocket?
Yeah.
Wait, but the pimp is the person whose pocket? Because the pimp
Person in my pocket, as in,
isn't the person with.
or I think it might mean I don't want to say the word, but it rhymes with fussy in my pocket.
Oh, that's not cool.
I think that's what I mean.
Oh,
Being
yeah.
a pimp isn't cool. Dude, what the fuck? This guy, he feels bad about the acronym,
All right.
but he doesn't give a shit about the actual occupation.
All right, guys. We are
good.
back this week. I may be in the middle of vacation right now. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, no one does.
We'll see.
We got geotagged this guy right here. Share my location.
How have you been these past 2 hours, Ben?
I've been good. I relieved myself. I feel much lighter. It was fantastic. Your wife might be too close to the bathrooms right now, so I'm a little scared right now. I'm actually like, Mrs. He, please don't go near the bathroom.
You actually took a really, really quick poop. It was
Yeah,
like
I
a
get
lightning
fiber,
speed
bro.
poop.
I get fiber, bro.
Do you actually get fiber?
Dude, I eat a lot of veggies. You'll be surprised. I eat a lot of veggies. I love broccoli, bok choy.
Is your veggie covered in chocolate ice cream? You don't look like a guy that eats a lot of vegetables.
I eat a shit ton of vegetables, but I still eat a shit ton of food.
Yeah, I was gonna
regardless.
say.
I still eat bad. I just like to eat.
One large pizza with a side of broccoli. That's what you do.
Dude, I'm not even joking. I'll literally eat like fried wings, and then I'll literally have like fucking broccoli, a bowl of broccoli on the
Do you
side.
think that makes it better? Okay.
It doesn't make it better, but it is better.
It is slightly better, I
It
guess.
is, because you still get fiber, you get the macro and the micro. No, not the macro. The micronutrients.
You know, in theory, you should eat that broccoli first, so then you satiate more of yourself and you eat less of the other shit.
Fuck. See, that's the kind of thinking that I just don't have in life. Because I'm so used to just eat the shit, and as long as I'm eating the broccoli,
Then you're good, yeah.
Yeah, but
Eat
you're
the broccoli
right.
first. Eat the broccoli first, and then eat as much of the
I'll
bad stuff
eat
as
like
you can.
I'll eat like 2-3 wings.
You
I'll
might
force
eat like
myself.
slightly less.
And I'll force myself to eat the broccoli, but you're right.
Yeah.
When I eat it together at the same time, it should be the other way around. Hi, Mrs. He.
My wife is walking past our.
Our production.
She's walking past our studio, aka my living room.
Our executive producer is walking up as we speak.
Oh god.
Thanks,
Okay.
boss. Enjoy your meal.
Yeah, because you would rather consume calories that are worth it as opposed to empty calories like fried chicken or something like that.
Right.
And speaking of empty calories, boba.
Oh,
Great segue.
Great segue.
Our topic for today is we don't get very political on this podcast whatsoever.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to get political at all, even though the topic of today's episode is semi-political.
Is pineapple a topping on pizza?
That's the whole
Right?
topic.
That's it. But seriously,
Boba liberal. Have you heard this term? That's a stupid question because you did a bunch of research for this term, so you heard this term
I never heard of it in my life until now.
until now. Okay.
Exactly.
Boba liberal is a semi-derogatory term.
Oh, okay.
Before we actually discuss what the term means, I just want to get your quick thoughts.
All right.
Before you did any kind of research, before we talked about the actual term and the topic,
Yes.
what did you think Boba liberal meant?
I mean, thank God I know some vocabulary. I was thinking it has to relate to Asian people and just some type of political
What was the
standpoint.
giveaway?
Boba and liberal.
What was the
I
giveaway?
think.
Boba.
Boba. For me, I don't know enough about it until I did more research about it, but it's always been associated with a kind of a negative connotation.
Yep.
I feel like it came up a lot more during COVID. It wasn't
Yeah.
there. It's a COVID thing, right?
Lots of things are COVID things, but I also think that also think what the fuck does that mean?
Also, no, that makes sense.
I also think that because we've only been paying more attention to the Asian American sphere over the past couple years doing this podcast,
Yeah.
that maybe it was there longer, but we only noticed it because during COVID we started this podcast and started paying more attention to it.
Yeah.
I had the same thoughts too. When I first heard the term and I heard it being thrown around, just from plain context alone, I just thought it meant like a soft liberal, like a soft Asian liberal.
It sounds harmless and cute, actually.
It does, right?
Yeah. I was like, oh, I want to be a Boba liberal. Yeah, sure.
So I wasn't even sure if it was a bad or a negative thing.
Same. It's kind of like the yeesh, like uncomfortable in the room. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's worse than a Karen, I can say, right? Is it the Asian version of it?
It's not the Asian version of Karen. We should probably explain what the actual definition of it is before we
Then we
confuse
have to
people.
explain what a Karen is.
Yo, people know what the fucking Karen is. Everybody knows what a Karen is. That's why no one names their kids Karen anymore.
Ooh, I know.
There's a whole generation of lost Karens.
There's-
People that would have otherwise named their babies Karen, done.
It's gonna be so rare to find like a newborn Japanese person named Karen because
Why does the person have to? Oh, okay.
because there's not because this is a segue back to our previous episodes.
Our favorite reoccurring topic on this podcast is declining Japanese birth rates.
That's right. Lingjie gives you the up to date statistical numbers.
It's like the stock ticker.
It's like Nasdaq down, Japanese birth rate.
How many babies were born in Japan today?
Exactly. But yeah, you probably won't meet the Japanese person named Karen. That's a unicorn.
That's a unicorn.
That's a unicorn.
Chinese person named Karen.
That is a boba unicorn.
Legally named Karen.
A boba unicorn right there.
Okay, let me just give you the definition so we know what we're talking about. There's a bunch of definitions, but I'm gonna go with the simplest one. A boba liberal is a term mostly used within the Asian diaspora communities in the West, especially in the United States. It describes someone of East or Southeast Asian descent living in the West who has an apparent liberal or centrist outlook. Sorry for these boring definitions, but we're just going to get it out of the way. The Asian identity of boba liberals has often been accused of being shallow and superficial. So it's like a surface level kind of like caring. I think that's what they're trying to say.
Surface level Karen?
No.
Oh,
Surface level caring. Like I care for you, caring.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It describes an Asian person who does the bare minimum to look like they care about topics within the community.
Oh, okay.
Now, question for you.
Yeah.
Does it kind of describe us?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like,
Uh,
wait, does that mean we are? Because like we talk about a lot of things, and we have a platform.
But we're not
So-
like out there actually like changing laws, protesting, doing any direct work with, let's say, young Asian teens or just different communities. We do it a little bit indirectly. It is kind of like shallow what we do. And this is just being honest.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing. You said that definition. I think that was kind of similar to like what I found online as well. I think it was on Wikipedia. I think that's where I read
The go-to source for all Asian information.
Exactly. There you go.
Did you read it in Korean or English?
I read it in definitely Konglish. But that's the thing. Reading it, I still didn't feel like I was satisfied in the definition because I've seen examples of boba liberals or people using the term to describe other Asian Americans, I guess you can
They're
say.
using it in a negative way, right?
I still don't know. It's because like for me, I thought boba liberals were kind of just like, they're kind of like those, you know how we have those like white supremacists? Is that the best way? It's like those are like Asian supremacists.
No. I think you're missing the entire definition. So it's
Okay.
an Asian person who
Right.
looks outwardly like they care about Asian issues, like more representation on TV. Like they look like they care about that they want Asian businesses to succeed, but they're not actually doing anything to make those things a reality. So they're just talking about it
Mhm.
and their views are very soft. They're just saying, yeah, we could use more candidates in politics that are Asian.
So
I agree with that.
the reason why I guess I'm asking is because I remember the first exposure I got to a BOBA liberal was something that involved with like Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
And, just for the record, me and Lingjie, I don't want to say we don't see no color, but pretty much what we're just saying is like, we're not going to define you by, your race, your age, wherever you came from. If you're a good person, altruistically, then we're going to get along. That's all that we care about.
Yeah.
Like, that's the bottom line.
Unless you're a Yankee fan.
Yes, unless you...
Wait, you're a Yankee fan?
Yes, I am.
Is that why I don't like you?
Maybe. I know every time you say it, you're like, dude, you're from Flushing.
Yeah.
I know you, I can
the
tell.
The fucking Mets are right there.
I know, but dude,
whatever.
Yankees, baby. But that's the thing. They were talking, I forgot what it was exactly, but it was along the lines of something with Black Lives Matter, and I just didn't like this Asian person, and they were titled as a BOBA liberal. And I was like, oh,
who titled them as BOBA liberal?
That's the thing what I'm trying to say is like, how do you define it? How's it given? I would never try to call anyone a BOBA liberal, I guess, because also I'm just not educated enough. I feel like it's a very new niche term.
It's similar to, in this country, we have two main political parties, Democrats and Republicans, right? There's a term for Republicans that's also derogatory, and that term is RHINO. It's an acronym for Republican in name only, meaning that it's people that say they're a Republican, but fellow Republicans say, well, you're only that in name only because you don't actually practice what you preach. So I think the thing with BOBA liberal, it's the same idea where it's other liberals saying that you are only saying you're a liberal, you're an Asian person.
I never heard about the RHINO thing, but that's a good way of putting it. I have a question for you then. Is being a BOBA liberal detrimental to the culture of Asian American society?
But that's a very deep question from you, but I feel like you had this pre-planned, didn't you?
I actually just thought of it just now, since you mentioned about the Republican Party thing.
Okay. If we're using the term itself to negatively describe people, you and I hate shitting on people who are trying the best within their means.
Yeah, if they're intrinsically trying to be a good person or do good.
Everyone has their own reasons why they can only do X, Y, and Z. There's a reason why you and I are not at a lot of protests doing stuff because we have our own things that hold us back from doing it, whether it's time, whether it's family obligations, whether it's other things like there are reasons why we are not out there. Does that mean that you and I care a little bit less?
Oh,
Maybe. Objectively, we could care less because we're not putting that stuff first. But does that mean we are doing something at a detriment to our community? I would say no, probably not.
Speaking for ourselves.
Right. We're trying to do the best with what we have. And this sounds like I'm trying to defend myself in case someone calls me a BOBA liberal.
Yeah.
I'm just being real. Like, I don't think you should shit on someone when they're just trying to do the best that they can.
So can we say that BOBA liberal?
If you call someone that, you're basically saying, I don't think you do enough. I do more than you. You're just pretending like you care.
Right. I think it's all about like open dialogue, open discussion. BOBA liberals, what's dangerous about it is that we're fighting each other when it's like we should be singing together.
Yes, that's a good point. Why the fuck are we fighting each other about this shit like this?
Right. And, I'm seeing it. And not only that, now we're kind of separating with other cultures in America. It's causing this huge divide.
It's hard enough to gather Asian people together for a unified cause. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Asian people, it's not a uniform group of people, right?
Exactly.
There's Koreans, there's Chinese, there's Southeast Asians, there's Indians, there's so many people, and we have such different cultural backgrounds that inherently it's already hard enough to get us together.
Right. We are going through the expedited crash course, like Coursera version of all of this.
So why is it that we still have to then further shit on a small subgroup of us that may not be doing well? I do want to say as a caveat, the one time I would say it's okay to kind of like shit on those people is if someone is a BOBA liberal, quote unquote, and they actually puff up their chest and say that I'm fighting for this cause. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I think we got to do this, this, and that. And they literally do nothing, but they keep talking such a big game. I think in that case, they kind of deserve to be shitted on.
Okay.
As opposed to someone like you and I, we may fit under that criteria of being a BOBA liberal because we really don't do much real work. We do whatever we can through this podcast.
Yeah.
But we're not out there saying that we're top tier Asian representation, right?
Right. So, I mean, going back to what you're saying, this is still a learning process for me. I think it's a learning process for you while we're going over this topic. And I don't want to say it's like a crash course about it for some people because I don't think it's talked about enough, actually. I was thinking about that too, leading up to this.
Is it also just like a fading topic? Like we're talking about this now because it's a pandemic thing. And then it just like fades into the background and we just don't talk about it at all later.
Like it just dies off kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, what was that shit called again? Clubhouse? Right? We always
you keep going back to Clubhouse.
Yeah, but it's kind of like that, right?
It's like a dying social media platform.
Yeah. It's like when people were trying to, like, they first started investing. All of a sudden, everyone became like a retail investor. Like everyone's on Robinhood and shit.
Right.
It was a COVID thing.
One quick thing before I forget to the origin of the word boba liberal. It kind of makes sense because boba is absolutely delicious at its surface. It's really good,
It's cute.
but it really is useless calories. It's empty calories. So I think that's where the word comes from. It's not just used because boba is an Asian thing and we needed the word to describe Asian
I
thing.
actually thought that was the only reason why.
It's because boba itself, most of the time, is empty calories.
Yeah.
So it's like you're eating food, but it's
Right.
nothing. So they're trying to be Asian and speaking up for us, but they're not really doing much. It's empty.
empty noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boba out there for people that know, it's technically just tapioca balls.
Yeah, it's tapioca starch and brown sugar.
Yeah. For
And
people
it
that
just-
didn't know.
Who the hell fuck would not know what boba is at this point?
Some people don't know.
That's the other reason why they're called boba liberals, because boba is already so mainstream. It's widely accepted. It's not like some crazy ass thing. You're not saying like stinky tofu liberals, right? That's not like it's not something that's not accepted that mainstream people don't know about. You say boba
Yeah.
because boba is, although its origins are Asian,
Yes.
it's pretty Americanized now. Everyone drinks
Now, yeah.
boba.
So going back to the first boba liberal or the definition of it, I believe it was coined by, it said from my Wikipedia research, from a communist dude. I don't know if you saw, but I think it's a guy from like with communist ideas.
So the first time that a person used it was by a communist leaning guy.
So here
Was
it is.
he Asian?
Here's it. I'll read it right now. The term boba liberal was coined by Vietnamese American communist Twitter user at Diospoa, not diaspora.
Your favorite word?
Yeah, Diospoa_red. I don't know why I'm giving his full handle. It refers to Asians who would often use their Asianness to speak on behalf of the Asian population in the West, which is what
Which
you
is
went
what
on.
we talked about. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's kind of where it came from. I obviously, it's Wikipedia and Twitter, so you can't really fact check it.
So for the people that shit on being a boba liberal, what is the right way to be a Asian person that wants to push for change that benefits us? What is like a good way to do it then? If being a surface level, empty calorie Asian proponent is not good, then what is the fucking right way?
I think if we're being serious, number one is like try to get into more politics, like actually run for office. Like what
Yeah.
Andrew Yang is doing and shit. I think that it's kind of.
Do you
I know.
think Andrew Yang,
I know. It wasn't
his-
successful, but
his campaign is empty calories.
yeah, but
Yo,
yeah,
it's a lot of talk, but there is nothing actually happening because he's not in any office.
I know, but yo, fuck it, we gotta fucking try still, and at least it's him. I mean, yeah, you're right. Like his track record,
he has a horrible track record.
he is the Mets, but
Whoa.
bro,
He's the Knicks before this year.
whoa,
We're both Knicks fans, so we can shit on the Knicks prior to this year.
that's true. But the Knicks are doing great this year. That's the thing. We
that's
are.
what I said before this year.
Yes. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. Is he Asian? Fuck, you're Asian now. Well, he looks Asian. He looks Filipino, right?
He does look kind of Filipino,
Right?
He looks mixed.
Yo, Jordan Clarkson, Jalen Brunson.
Jordan Clarkson is Filipino.
Yeah,
He's
Kyler
had-
Murray. Come on, Kyler Murray's Korean.
Yes.
Come on in. When I saw Kyler Murray, I was like, oh shit, he actually looks fucking Korean.
Feature-wise, he has that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
about?
Oh yeah, Jalen Brunson is not a boba liberal, by the way. But yeah, Andrew Yang, going back to him, I think that's the kind of thing we need to get the ball rolling, the boba rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, politics is a touchy subject because I'm
Yeah.
so jaded. Have we talked about our political views?
Oh, I don't have much views in general, but yeah, fuck it.
I think it's safe to say that we're both left-leaning. We're both democratic by
Yeah.
nature. That's, I don't know. Is it by default because of how we grew up, our actual beliefs mold
Reflected,
us? I
yeah.
don't know what the fuck it knows, right? But
Yeah.
I would say for me personally, I'm pretty, I'm more of a centrist Democrat
Okay. If you can, elaborate that.
because I have a lot of money.
Oh,
I'm just
okay,
kidding.
okay.
That's not the fucking reason why.
Too late. We got it on record. It's a wrap. FBI, book him.
I always say the extreme views of anything that we're talking about
Yeah.
is the worst place to be. You have to be at the center of everything because we live in reality. You can have views that maybe are more extreme, but in the practice of making things come to fruition and actually making change, you have to live in the gray.
I love this because going back to our previous episode, which was a shot like a few hours ago, we talked about the great philosopher Mewtwo. He speaks on this, the idealism of mankind.
Do you want me to read Mewtwo's
I think we
inspirational
need to.
quote
I think
again?
every episode we need to. He is our modern day Aristotle's. He is the closest thing to our Asian Confucius right now.
If you guys
Is
didn't listen
Mewtwo
to
Asian?
that episode, please listen to the one where we talked about our favorite Asian movies. But anyways, we talked about Mewtwo and Mewtwo, the Pokemon. Yes, he's a fictional cartoon Pokemon. I know that sounds weird, but he said something very inspirational. His words,
Take it
I
away.
see now that the circumstances of one's birth is irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
That shit right there, that's like founding fathers shit right
But
there.
it came from a purple animal Pokemon.
It's from a cartoon. And this cartoon fucked up Charizard, which scarred me. It scarred the shit out of me. I was like, then grandma was like, Charizard got fucked up.
Anyways, we're talking about our views. What are your political views, Ben? You want to put them on the table?
At heart, like you said, I do think I am, Democratic at heart, right?
Mhm.
But as I've gotten older, I can understand where a lot of Republicans come from. Like, this is the first time in my life, I'm in my mid-30s where I finally kind of see where Republicans come from. It's not so much that they're against minorities, people of color, or
Although some of them are.
Unfortunately, some of them are.
I would say the main differential is that Democrats tend to think that the government should have a more personal hand in helping its citizens.
Yes.
Republicans kind of think of the opposite, that the government should do its job but leave its citizens alone.
Right.
At its core, I think a lot of things boil down to that.
Yes. And, Republicans, some of them just like to ask, like, but we're cool about how do you actually afford it? And I'm like, that is actually a fair question to ask. I joke, technically our CFO, CTO,
CTO, it's Chief Technology Officer.
Thank you.
Thank you. He supplied us with the third camera.
Right. Like, without him,
None of this is possible. You would not see us on social media.
Yeah, or we would have to shoot this on, 720p, or we'll just have pictures of, like
we'll just do
have
JPEGs.
drawings. Yes, exactly.
We'll do JPEGs and we'll just voice over it.
Yes, and because of him and his position where he became a business owner, he was able to put himself in a position for providing for others, and people just don't realize that. And I think it's fair to see on both sides, right? So I'm not saying I'm a Republican. I just understand where Republicans come from. And I do think some things that Democrats do, it is kind of embarrassing, but I understand like why
they're doing it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Our country now, specifically America, we're getting to a point where people are too much on one team or the other.
Exactly.
The gray is fucking gone.
Yeah.
The worst part about all that is because we have such loyalty to our own clans now. Whatever the clans may be, whether they're wrong, whether they're not wrong, who the fuck even cares? It's just the fact that about people latch onto something and they're unwilling to listen to anyone else's opinion.
Yeah.
We've lost the skill to calmly and objectively listen to the counter argument to your point.
Yeah.
And sometimes our differences can be mended if each of us gave a little bit, had some leeway.
Yeah.
I never want to talk too much politics, but it's getting to a point where especially young people younger than us, are discouraged by what they see, so that they themselves don't really see themselves growing up in a world where they can do change. As opposed to maybe decades ago, people were actually in somewhat inspired by some politicians.
Right.
Nowadays, it's kind of like a shit show because we're all such homers for our teams now.
Going back to what you said about our inability to just try to listen without being triggered emotionally, it's gotten out of hand. And unfortunately, things like social media, podcasts, you can even say, it is a double-edged sword where it's this platform. And it's not a platform that you're given or earned. So how much of it is it, I guess, factual that you can say? But unfortunately, people just, sometimes when you just listen, they just listen. Or like they call sheeple, right? People that are sheep that just go with the flow and stuff.
Yeah.
It is very scary.
It's scary too, because tell me what you're for instead of always telling me what you're against.
Right. It's becoming where, like, instead of just having an open discussion, it's like, how do I one up this person and win? Instead of just trying to be, oh, maybe I can learn something new from this.
Right. It's winning for the sake of winning. It's not winning to actually do something constructive or good. It's just to say that I have a W.
Yeah. So going back to like the whole thing about this BOBA liberal stuff, right? I still kind of don't know. I don't even know where it's going. It annoys me personally. I don't know why. I just feel like
Which side annoys you? The ones calling people BOBA liberals or the actual BOBA liberals?
I've seen this one woman, I believe she was kind of just attacking other Asian people. And this is another thing. This shit's getting mad touchy, but because you're more white than Asian, and now you're being attacked for it. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
wait, so you're shitting on the person being attacked or doing the attacking?
Doing the attacking. They're saying, oh, it's because you're white and you lost your Asian heritage. Like that kind of shit. I'm like, I just think this is a very confusing thing to be doing to each other. The whole idea of this BOBA liberal thing, it's like, damn, why is this even a thing? Right?
Don't say that they're not Asian enough by your standards just because their blood may be like half white.
Right. That's very personal. And you're basing it off something that you see on social media from that person. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
You know? So it goes back to the whole thing about, I don't want to go back into it, but we did talk about this in our previous episodes about like our identity, right? I relate to myself as Asian, Korean American. You relate to an Asian Chinese American.
Yeah.
But there are things about us that, people will say like, oh, you're white.
Or you're too American.
Right. I'm very, very proud and very fortunate. We're very proud to be considered an American, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. All of a sudden, we keep labeling with these, fucking colors and shit.
I talked about this with like someone recently. Something that we're trying to learn is that no one should gauge how fucking Asian you are based by whatever arbitrary metrics.
Right.
Just because you and I may not speak our language fluently does not make us any less Asian than someone who speaks our language more fluently.
Right.
I think aside from the actual DNA part of it, I think
Yeah, good
you
point.
just feeling more Asian or not is by your own standards. It's your choice to decide. If you don't speak the language, but you're comfortable that you are Chinese or Korean or whatever, then you should probably be able to call yourself Asian. And you shouldn't have someone else say, well, you're not fucking Chinese. You can't even speak Chinese.
I can't speak on the African American community, but there is something similar to that where a lot of Black Americans, they will say like, oh, they're light skinned or you're not black enough. And there's this whole divide of like Africans, from Africa, and then there's ones where African Americans being raised. How there's like a huge divide even with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, disclaimer, I can't speak on that.
Clearly.
But I've seen where a lot of my contemporaries or people just friends of mine where they're obviously black and they talk about it and like they're like it's sad because just because of their tone of color of them being black, they're viewed as something else. So if you're light skinned, you're considered weak minded. And in the NBA, there was a famous Kobe Bryant quote with Jordan Clarkson. He said, "Oh, stop being so light skinned."
Oh, he said that to him?
Yeah, so it's a thing that's said in the African American community. And also, if you happen to be black, listen to it. I'm not saying this to come off offensive. I could be wrong. Please educate me.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're stepping into that now.
Yeah.
Good or for bad, I think for me personally, it is bad.
Yeah, politics has always been a touchy subject. That's why we try not to talk about as much.
Do we know any
Do we know?
liberals?
Dude, we are maybe boba liberals by that definition.
Right.
What do you actually do for Asian Americans, Ben?
Jack shit.
You barely do anything for your Chinese American friend right here. What the fuck? You're not doing anything for us in general.
Oh shit, yeah.
The best we do is we scream on the internet for other people.
Yeah.
Maybe they can be inspired to do better than us. It's like, holy shit, these two guys are doing fucking jack shit. I need to go out there and make up the difference.
And on that note, thank you for listening to the worst Asian podcast.
Yes. By far, by many metrics, we are the worst Asian podcast.
I guess under that, then, yeah, we are technically boba liberals. And that kind of makes me cringe, I guess. That's what it is.
by definition, we are. That's why.
By definition.
That's why it's true. If you guys are listening to this podcast and you think that these two jackasses are not really doing much except for screaming about Asian culture on the internet,
Yeah.
please balance things out. Please go do more on our behalf.
I refuse to be, except that we are considered under that category by that definition.
Does that mean we need to go out there and do more stuff?
Oh, that's a good question. Knowing myself,
Is me drinking this can of Asian American created lunar doing anything for our community?
Well, I mean, yes.
It's getting me hammered.
Yes, it is.
But it's not doing anything for other people listening.
I mean, it's still supporting one another. This means just making excuses.
It's better than me drinking a White Claw.
Yes. Oh, that's very poetic. That
It's
is
better
very
than
true.
me drinking a White Claw.
We are drinking the Yellow Claw.
All right, guys, on to our favorite part of the whole podcast, ranting and raving. This is where Ben and I take a couple minutes just to bitch about something negative or bitch about something positive or can you bitch about something positive? I'm losing my train of thought right now.
No. But
Okay. That's called raving.
yes.
You know what? I'm going to try to see if I can find something to rave about. Please tell me what you're going to bitch about.
So one time at work, we serve unlimited boozy mimosas. So it's like
Oh,
bottomless
it's like a brunch
mimosas.
thing.
Yes, we have brunch. We do bottomless mimosas, right? We had this one couple get very intoxicated. She ended up throwing
Dude,
up.
every one of your job stories starts off with someone getting into a phase of being intoxication, and then the story really starts from that point.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the thing. She started throwing up, right, in a garbage can. But in this the garbage can's like right before the line for the bathroom. And the boyfriend's doing, he's being sweet, he's rubbing her back, blah, blah. But mind you, this is in the middle of the floor where all the other guests can see this, right? And she's just there for 10 minutes. Instead of being a dick and being like, yo, I need getting security and being like, yo, you need to get the fuck out. You're disturbing the rest of the guests. I went over, got a ginger ale, a wet napkin, asked if they need a chair. Can I do anything to help you? They said, no, we're good, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, so at our place, I do charge people. So if you come to my spot, I will charge you a cleanup fee. Especially
How much is the cleanup fee?
I charge $50.
Is that regardless of the amount of
Vomit?
vomit that I'm creating?
So this is my rule of thumb. If I catch you vomiting once outside the bathroom, that's one strike, $50.
Okay.
If I see you doing it again, that's another 50. That's pretty much what I do.
What if you're doing it back to back?
Now, if you vomit to the point where like you vomit on someone,
oh,
then not only will I charge you, I will have that person literally be like, I think you're responsible for whatever damage you did to their property, right? Technically, our policy is we are not responsible for any of your loss or damage, blah, blah, blah.
right. But you're just trying your best to make that person who's being barfed on
Right.
whole.
So, and on top of it, when I do charge these people, I'm not actually, the company doesn't pocket this. I actually, what I'll do, I initiate it, I will give that money to the buster that cleans it up.
Oh, directly.
Yeah. It gives them incentive because I feel terrible about it. It's like, they shouldn't be cleaning up for people like that.
Yeah.
You know, and it gives, and actually, the busters really appreciate it. It gives an incentive to work even harder.
Yeah.
There's a running joke. They get excited. They're like, yo, who's gonna throw up now? they look around like, yo, putting down their fingers down their throats and shit.
They try to give people free drinks.
yeah, pretty much. But so what happened is I went over. I dropped the bill. I said, hey, I just want to let you know. I explained it to him, right? This guy got so pissed. He was mad at me. He was like, what the fuck? He said this was a scam.
Yeah.
He was like, how dare you, like getting us fucked up and then charging us to pay for it.
He said you're getting him fucked up, as if you're forcing his ass to drink more than they can handle.
Thank you. I was like, you BOBA liberal motherfucker. You call me a BOBA liberal right now, motherfucker. I'm skewing the thing, but
Pen's so offended.
I was so pissed. This was a few times. I rarely raise my voice. I got mad. I put it in my finger. I was like, how fucking dare you making this fucking bullshit excuse? Did you fucking hear yourself right now? Right? I think he was surprised I got this bad. He was like, you're telling me I'm responsible for your ass to be drinking and you can't control your fucking drinking? Get the fuck out of here. Pay the shit and I'll get you the fuck out of here. That was my first time I actually got mad and cursed him out. The guy got so surprised. Later on, I said, I'll be right back. I left because I was pissed. I didn't want to fucking grab him or whatever. I come back. The guy said, yo, my bad. He actually apologized. And then that's when I calmed down. I said, yo, me too. I'm sorry that I yelled and cursed at you.
Yeah.
I said, I get it. Your girl got fucked up. You wanted to have a good time. He said, yeah, that's what it was. I was like, now you're babysitting. He's like, yeah, you're right. Exactly. I was like, dude, I get it. Look, man, I could have been a dick. I could have kicked you out. This and that, but obviously she's not feeling well.
She needs somewhere to sit and catch her breath.
Yeah, her head's spinning. I get it. I'm trying to make sure you guys are comfortable.
Yo, Ben, I don't know what kind of job you have.
I am literally.
I miss the days when all you did was politely pass sushi around.
I miss those days too. I went from passing expensive sushi to fucking shots. Like fucking just tons of shots and fucking
passing around the vomit bucket.
Yo, seriously, man. And pretty much just like, guys, if you're going to go drink, that stupid saying drink responsibly, it is really true. Like, you should know by now how to handle your liquor, unless you're really young and just discovering it.
Learn from your mistakes and bring $50.
Yes. To my spot. Me and Lingjie, we're at the age where I like to say we know how to control liquor.
I have recently learned, I told you this last time on the past recording, I have learned to stop drinking when I think I'm at the point where I don't really get smashed, but I'm like, if I drink anymore, I will be dehydrated. I probably won't have as good of a sleep. Because alcohol impairs your sleep.
Yes.
I always talk about this, and sleep is the most important thing to me.
Yes, Lingjie is the godfather of good sleep.
It's my family, and then it's sleep.
That's his hobby.
That's my pill.
It's his fucking go-to hobby.
Yo, motherfucker, your hobby is to sleep. You probably sleep randomly more than me.
Oh my god, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't even nap. When I nap, I feel like my day is thrown off, and I get a headache from napping.
Right? Like you feel worse sometimes?
I feel worse. I don't get refreshed from sleeping. First of all, I get enough sleep overnight, right? I try my best to have 7-8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So I'm good to go for the whole day. And sleeping just throws off my schedule. It's like, where am I going to find an hour or 2 hours just to lie down, and just throws you off? Because you have to recover from a nap.
You feel groggy.
Which sounds stupid, but that's true.
No, I agree with you. I totally know what you mean. They say it's a science. Like you can nap, but it's supposed to be at a certain time before, a certain amount. I'm like, that's all bullshit. Well, for me personally.
Yeah.
And now you're, backing it up. But yeah, that's pretty much my story. Yeah, I was pretty pissed about it. I remember it just happened. It was during the brunch. It was just my shift was just started.
Who gets shift faced during brunch that hard?
No, dude, a lot of people do.
Is it?
Dude, I see.
Because when you get shift faced that early, your whole day is gone.
I know, but
literally your whole day is gone.
Bro, there's people like that. I agree with you. Sometimes I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Go have a stack of pancakes. And then,
a stack of pancakes.
Don't have
you're not wrong.
Yeah, don't have a giant jar
have
of
fucking strategy, guys.
Right.
If it's one thing, this job actually has controlled my drinking. I see these people, I'm like, it pisses me. I'm like, I don't want to be like this. Fuck, this is not fun.
Oh god.
Good look. Anyway, that's my bitching. Raven, I mean. What's yours?
That's a rave?
I mean my ranting. What's yours, buddy?
Is it a hot take to say that I don't like Siracha?
Ooh, that is a hot take.
Is
Yeah,
it?
Yeah, that's a real hot take. Is it because you don't like hot shit in general?
No, I like spicy food. You know me. I like spicy food, either in, like
Got
in
it.
hot pot or like sauces, gochujang
Fucking
flavored
curry,
stuff, curry.
halal.
I love my hot stuff. So it's not a spice tolerance thing. It's just that I'm not the biggest fan of sriracha or like that
Really?
style sauce.
Okay,
Because I
okay.
don't see the appeal in it.
All right, the first time you had it, like you're just like, nah. Like, I guess our first exposure is to pho.
Exactly. The first time that I really had sriracha on like a constant basis was in pho. But even after a while, I'm like, yo, bro, this pho and this hoisin sauce it all tastes the fucking same. Why am I gonna have like some kind of pho broth which theoretically has been cooked for a long time by like some lady and just put some sriracha sauce
Pho lady, yeah.
and hoisin sauce in it? Because that just makes all pho look the same. You might as well take Campbell's soup and put like sriracha and hoisin sauce in it.
I agree
It's
with
gonna
you.
taste the same.
It's kind of I remember I went to like a house party and they actually had she was Vietnamese. She actually had like a pho table set up, so you just assemble, make your own. So it was like real pho.
Oh, it's like Taco Tuesdays, but like
Bingo.
pho Fridays.
Pho Fridays.
Yeah.
I like that pho Fridays. I think it was a Friday too. And I was just like, oh shit, like they don't really fuck with the sriracha and hoisin. So yeah, you're absolutely right about it.
But
This is my first time hearing about you about
when do you use
sriracha.
sriracha sauce besides in pho?
Ooh, actually, all right. I do have a bottle of sriracha at my house, right?
When do you use that sauce?
Sometimes when I'm too lazy to, I'll get the sriracha and just like squirt it on like, especially with like a protein or with my eggs.
But I think with eggs, you can take like the Chinese chili oil,
Yeah.
and then I think that's better on eggs than sriracha is.
I had one time, and I don't know if you remember Alex.
Yeah.
He introduced me to eggs with oyster sauce. And it was my first time having oyster sauce, I think. And I was like, this is delicious. That was a good combo.
But sriracha sauce in general, I think. I love the story of the company itself. I just don't think it deserves the cult following that it does. And this might be a very, very,
okay.
very,
I will
very
disagree
hot
with
take.
you there. Yes, quote unquote hot.
To each his own.
Yeah. You know what? You're not hating on it, so it's cool. It's not like you're like,
I'm not saying it's disgusting or it tastes bad. I just don't
Yeah.
think it's as good as some people may think it is.
I love sriracha. You know what it is? I know what you mean because like sriracha became such a big movement that like people start making products, pillows, like shirts about sriracha.
Yes.
And I think that's what
or
it
like
is.
sriracha flavored popcorn.
Right. I think
Sriracha
that's what you're
flavored
saying. It's
everything.
like, yo, that's OD. That's what it is, right?
I'm trying to think of when I would actually even use it, and I'm struggling.
So put it this way. When they had the shortage, right? That time where they were like, you know, during COVID, they couldn't
Yeah,
get enough Thai chili peppers. I think that's what they use. You're like, I don't give a flying fuck.
I don't give a shit.
I actually was like a little scared.
Why?
Because I
Oh,
was like,
because you had no sriracha left in the fridge.
yeah, because like it's not like I
That-
need it, but it's like it's just good to know I have it.
It's like ketchup. I use ketchup more than I
Exactly.
use sriracha.
All right, that's fair enough. We never use sriracha at the barbecues too. So
It's a literal hot take. Please don't come at me, guys.
yeah, if you don't like sriracha and you can't control your liquor, you're gonna have a problem with us, right? I think that's fair enough to
I
say.
think that's pretty much everything that we're talking about
I
today.
love it, man.
All right, Ben, we're at the outro. Please do the outro. Go.
This was a hot take, you know, quote unquote, but it was very educational. I kept fibbing and fudging. I kept fudging the sauce, you can say, because I
Yes, Ben
couldn't.
kept misunderstanding when you use
I-
the term boba
yes,
liberal.
I
He was using it to define the people pointing
Yes,
the fingers at them,
yes.
as opposed to the actual people being called that.
And not only that, I was just confused about the definition of it, but thank you for reiterating it.
Right.
I did learn something from this, so
Right.
thank you for that.
And we try not to talk about politics. I said this like 4
Yes.
times on this podcast because we
Right.
are very.
We're too dumb.
We're too dumb. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Actually, you know what?
I'm too dumb. Lingjie's
Even better.
Lingjie's above average, but Lingjie's smart enough to know like we tread lightly in life, right? You
But
can
you're a
say
very
that.
heavy person.
Yeah. You can't be late if you're already there. I think that's the message.
Was that this episode or the last one?
forgot
I think
already.
it's this one. That's
Oh, it
this
was
one.
this one?
That's this one.
So I think that's the whole message of it. Instead of going into politics, you can find us on social media platforms like
Instead of
Instagram.
Donating to your favorite new campaign for whoever's ready for what.
Yes.
Please subscribe to our premium content.
There you go. That's even better. Instead of buying that, sriracha for that 1 month, you got something even spicier.
Yes.
Our monthly subscription.
For the price of barfing at Ben's place,
We'll even do this. If you buy a 1-year membership, it will cost you only $50. We'll save you the extra money, right?
that's not true, but okay.
Oh shit! Never mind. We're still gonna ask you for the full 5. That's what we'll do.
All right, Ben, do you want to go to the outro minus these subscriptions because we talked about it enough, I guess?
Oh, okay. You can find us on all of our major social media platforms. Lingjie will be manning the Worst Asian Pod on Instagram.
What's
You
the
can-
handle?
Worst Asian Pod. You can also find us on TikTok for as long as it's still.
Or as long as it's still there.
So it's not banned in the US for now.
Right.
If you're in China, keep listening to TikTok, finding us there.
Yes.
Uh,
We'll just create a new platform actually called TikTok.
TikTok. There you go.
It'll be
TikTok.
exactly the same shit.
TikTok boom boom. And what other platform is there? I feel like I'm blank. YouTube, definitely. We're on the YouTube.
Oh, guys, if you can leave us a review, I think that's actually the most important
Thank you.
thing.
I always leave that out.
If you don't want to give us any of your hard-earned money, cool, that's perfectly fine. But please give us some of your time just to scroll down and leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. Leave us a comment if you will. I think you leaving us a written comment might be more valuable than $5.
Than the money. Yes, your hard-earned emoji goes a lot further.
I'm not even exaggerating. I think in terms of like the algorithm and like how much people can push it to, the fucking gods at Apple and Spotify, well, not Spotify because there's no comment section, but the gods at Apple really do push you out when you get more comments and 5-star reviews. So if you guys can do that for us, if you haven't, the number of reviews that we have is substantially less than the number of listens and followers that we have. So pull over in your car.
Yes.
Put your kid down.
Don't be that boba liberal.
Stop cooking dinner just for 2 seconds and scroll up, scroll down. Please leave us a review.
You don't have to eat. You don't need calories. You don't need the energy.
Yeah.
Just be a vegetable and listen to the Worst Station podcast.
Stand in the elevator going up and down.
Yeah, get stuck in there. Oh, elevator attendant, you know who you are. Better get your phone.
All right, guys, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us on a weekly basis. We genuinely appreciate it. I love interacting with you guys on social media. So find us on all the social medias. Tell us what you'd like. Give us a suggestion for future episodes. We do get a bunch of those, and we do take them to heart. We do listen to them, and then we're going to run out of ideas.
Yeah, and also, if you're bored, ship Lingjie a bottle of Siracha.
I'm going to do that shit in the garbage. You know what? I'm going to donate it to Ben.
Yes, that's what I wanted.
All right, guys, take it easy now.
All right, guys. Love ya.
Bye.
Peace.